that myself and Rochester's own Nick Fields worked up together. We showed them to these other guys and worked on them down there, and they were sounding really good. And that lake house is actually right about a stone's throw away from the house I grew up in, which burned down in 2005. And I think it was something about the vibe of that weekend, kind of like my past and future meeting up in this one place and just all coming together. And about a week after that, like I said, we had been down there to record with another band, but came away from that with our own new project. And I'd say like a week after that, just kind of reflecting on it, that name just popped into my head. It was kind of like the environment plus the music plus just kind of something else, I guess.
Well, I can understand that, and yes, to answer your question, I did kind of read your biography. I usually try to do that, so because I talk to so many new artists that I'm not even totally familiar with. I'd like to get a little bit of a background and at least pretend that I know what I'm talking about. And
sure.
Yes, I did scan a little bit of your biography, and I also read where you have been concentrating on touring and, as you put it, gaining traction nationally, which is a great idea. What's your present touring status?
We just tear through the Southeast right now. We go down to Texas. We hit the coast, the Gulf Coast, a couple times, and really just trying to conquer the South before we make it too far away from home.
Where are you headed now? What's next on your agenda? I know you've got a new release this week, and we're going to be playing that after we talk with you. What else is on the burner for you?
Oh, we're about to play a show here in Nashville at a festival called Severe Park Fest, and it's going to be a great just outdoor music and yoga and all kinds of random, just a little something for everyone, I guess you could say. We're going to be playing that with a couple other acts, including Devin Gilfillian and some others. And on top of that, we've just gotten back from Memphis, where we shot the music video to accompany our new song, Oh Eleanor. And we actually shot that with a very notorious crew in Memphis called the Secret Order of the Boll Weevils, which is sort of a Mardi Gras charity masked society. They ride around in a convertible green school bus all over the city of Memphis and throw out beads and visit kids in the hospital. And they're guys, I'm from Memphis originally, and they're guys that I've known for a long time. So when it came time to do a music video, we started kicking around the craziest ideas we could think of. And I'm like, well, I know these guys with this crazy green school bus that we could put all our gear on and shoot a video. So we just got back from filming that. It's going to be awesome.
That makes me want to head down to Memphis right now. That sounds like my kind of people. I love it. A convertible green school bus. You got to get us a picture of that. I'd like to see that. Actually, I'd like to go ride it is what I'd like to do, but that's another story for another day.
I'd like to go to Memphis just to check out the music scene.
Yeah, you guys going to spend some time? You guys going to spend some time getting into the atmosphere down there?
In Memphis?
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we go to Memphis at least a couple times a year to play shows. That's hometown for me, so it's always good to go back and play for all the people who helped me get to Nashville.
Absolutely, and it's a great music town too. It can definitely influence your musical feelings too. It's a great music city. I know everybody looks at the majors, but and Memphis really is a major, although it's not always considered that. I know it was big back in the 60s into the 70s. Memphis was really big, and then it kind of got softened, and you don't hear as much about it anymore. But it's definitely a growth area for music. You guys sound like you're on the way yourselves, and as we indicated, we really like your sound, your music, and talking to you sounds like you got your heads on right, and you've got a good thing going. You got a good balance between each of you and your input into the music. What do you think is the best thing that's happened to you so far in your career?
Ooh, tough question. The whole room is looking at each other right now. I would say just meeting each other, really.
Aww.
I know that's kind of
That's a good
cop-out
one.
answer, but it really is true.
Not
That's
really.
the best thing that's happened to me in the last couple of years.
No, if you know, when something like that is true, it's never a wrong answer, and it certainly isn't a cop-out. And while it isn't what I was expecting to hear, I'm not sure what I was expecting to hear, but it isn't what I was expecting to hear. It is an excellent answer. And from talking to you guys and listening to your music, I believe it. Don't you, John?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can tell just in the general conversation that there is a camaraderie that you guys have, and you know, it's a chemistry that is important to have if you're going to be a success. You know, you guys can be talented musicians and make good music, but if you don't like each other, then it's just going to be a poisonous atmosphere. I don't pick up on that. No,
I agree, and I think
we're all best friends.
I think that was an excellent answer. Now, last thing before we let you go, with about the minute we have left, we are next going to play your new release, Oh Eleanor. Tell us about the song.
Well, I'll let the two writers tell you a little bit about that one. That song was written by our keyboard player, Will Lind, and our guitar player, Nick Fields.
Well, Oh Eleanor is all about it's really about a guy who's riding the bus and he falls in love with this girl who also rides the bus. He just takes it every day and he's kind of looking at her and playing out this fantastical fantasy in his head, and you know, just about building your expectations up in your head, and you know, it's kind of like a dream world kind of song.
Okay, and the next time you're on our show here, I'm going to ask you to tell us about the fantasies that were in your head when you were writing the song. Hey, listen, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming, spending time with us, sharing your music. Look forward to having you back here again, and we're going to play that new release right now by Forest Fire Gospel Choir. It's called Oh Eleanor.
Me somewhere I've already been. Another song, same old melody that plays in my head. Eleanor, seen you before, come sit beside me. The vinyl stone, the colors warm, it's so inviting. If I believe I'm a thief, would you let me steal you in a spell from the smell of lilacs and tequila? Oh, Eleanor, you wear me down till I'm all ash and bone. Oh, Eleanor, within your fire, at least I'm not alone. Without a word, a conversation's playing out in my mind. Sounds absurd, building us up one right at a time. Eleanor, are you sure you're getting out here? Each time you go, I'm so alone and filled with doubt here. Well, passing by, I close my eyes and still I see you. One of these days I'll finally say it's nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. They call themselves the Forest Fire Gospel Choir, and they're right out of Nashville now, and you're going to be hearing a lot more of them. We were talking, John Bon Jovial and I, behind the scenes during the song there, and one of the things that John said to me was, these guys are good. I heartily agree. We got to wrap it up and get on the road ourselves. So I want to thank you, all of our listeners out there around the world and around Rochester, New York, who listen to us in WRFZ FM 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. Want to thank our guests, the lovely and very talented Mikalyn Hay, and of course the five guys who make up the Forest Fire Gospel Choir. Come back, join us next week. We'll have another rockin' show for you. John Bon Jovial, take us home.
Okay, the David Bowers Awards, that's us, is broadcast around the world from the studios of Computer Help USA in Naples, Florida, and, of course, the Valley of the Sun in Phoenix, Arizona, and is available for free download on Blog Talk Radio. You can find us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spreaker, Amazon Alexa devices, as well as SoundCloud, Mixcloud, and all those other silly platforms. Be sure to click the follow link on Blog Talk Radio and like the David Bowers on Facebook and Twitter. And please be sure to join us next week. We would really appreciate it for the David Bowers Awards, Saturdays at 12 noon Eastern on WRFZ FM 106.3 Rochester Free Radio, and on Blog Talk Radio Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 6 p.m. Greenwich time for more great indie music and talk with the artists that make it all happen. So until next week, for the David Bowers and Nick the Geek and myself, John Bon Jovial, we truly appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next week right here on the David Bowers Awards.